right, Mr. Nathan Smith. What's up, man?
Baker, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm
Good,
good.
good.
I know you said it's 9 a.m. for me. It's about 3 p.m. for you. You're over in the UK, right?
Yeah, 3 p.m. here now. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me this afternoon. I'm really excited to kind of dive in because the listeners have been hearing me talk about AI virtually nonstop.
Yeah.
They just heard an episode where I came out and talked to Galvin Wijaya, who owns Loretta AI. And Loretta AI is like an AI that's like plugged into CCTV cameras, especially in like the UK and the US. And
Nice.
it's like determining intent from every like individual that it detects moving inside a CCTV camera. So it was like a crazy episode talking
Yeah,
about
that's
some
impressive.
technology
Yeah,
there.
that does sound good.
Um, but I'm excited to talk about Mirra and what you guys have been developing in the agent realm.
Yeah.
Um, I want to start with kind of the beginning of your journey, right? Because an AI startup is like a really, in today's day and age, it feels like a really big, like fancy thing. But what I'm finding is a lot of the people that I meet, like yourself, in the AI kind of realm or startup or tech space, have very similar starting points to where a lot of us as entrepreneurs started. So maybe
Sure.
take us back to what got
Yeah,
you into
I mean
entrepreneurship and your journey.
it's been a while. I mean, I've been dabbling in a few different, well, a lot of different hustles since a kid. To be honest with you, the average entrepreneurship story really starting off very young, trying a lot of different things. A lot of things failed, and I believe that's such a big learning curve. You never learn from success; you learn from failures. So I think like starting at a young age, trying all sorts of different things, and then I found my craft mainly in e-commerce, so selling products online, whether this would be drop shipping or selling it on Amazon or my own website on Shopify. Found some great success with that. So then I went full time into that at a very young age. And then I really enjoyed that, but the only problem was I wanted more. Like these small hustles are great, but it didn't satisfy me, and I wanted to create something more impactful to more people. So essentially then I started offering coaching to actually help people build their own e-commerce businesses, which is really special. I know there's a lot of people out there who sometimes put a bad name to coaching in a way because they don't deliver exactly what they say they're going to, but it is truly, there's nothing that beats it. Being able to
Yeah.
actually have someone come to you with a problem and be able to help them achieve whatever they want to achieve, it's so rewarding. And then from that, I obviously scaled into creating my own educational platform, which again did very well and is currently still doing very well. And we have a few thousand coaches on there selling all different types of coaching. And my main aim with that is I was trying to create a platform where legit coaches who could actually prove that they can deliver a good service would come onto my platform and then obviously sell their programs on our marketplace. And we was like sort of like the trust pilot for online coaches in a way, being able to come to the platform and know what you're going to get in a way. So that did very well. I've obviously been building that. And then a few years ago, I obviously stumbled across ChatGPT when it first came out. And I was just like amazed by it. I was just like, this is amazing. And I knew straight away from the minute this was the future. I knew this was going to this is going to explode. And then at
Yeah.
that point, I just started diving in and trying all different types of stuff and learning automations, AI agents, just trying to educate myself in it as much as possible. And I think I say this to a lot of people, it's like you're never ever going to be an expert in AI because like by the time you wake up tomorrow, there's a million new things that's gone on, so it's like it's always a learning
Yes.
curve. But I just got really interested in the topic and it's something that I really attached to. And then at that point, I started, like I said, dabbling into AI agents and automations. I did very well at that. And then again, me thinking I wanted to create something bigger, I want to create something more impactful to more people, is where Mirra originated from. And obviously that's where I've grown Mirra, which has been in development for over 12 months now with a big team working on it. And the whole aim of the game of that is really, I mean, we'll get onto this later down in the podcast, but the whole aim of the game is just being able to help as many people as possible get into the AI space with no experience. And I think sometimes AI and all the tools out there is just so overwhelming for people, and we want to bridge that gap.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot to unpack there. So did you say your first start was drop shipping on Shopify?
Yeah, drop shipping, any type of e-commerce, whether it was selling on
Yeah.
Amazon, TikTok Shop, Shopify, like I was just trying it all. And I had some really, good success with a lot of brands and they still currently do very well to this day. But I'm just sort of like putting all my energy at the moment into AI because I see that's the future. And yeah, that's where my big interest is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So with you getting your start in a bunch of different things, right? Because I feel like, the user or the listeners rather have heard me talk about, my evolution of entrepreneurship, and like my first like little taste of entrepreneurship was me selling little like paracord survival bracelets at
Yeah.
school, like as a 12, 13-year old.
Yeah.
And that was my first, I guess, dipping my toe into what entrepreneurship was. I didn't even know that was a word for
Yeah.
it. I just knew like I wanted to own my own business someday.
Yeah.
And they saw or heard me, go from selling the little bracelets to trying clothing brands and then lawn care company and like all the different kind of steps and steps and steps until
Yeah.
finally I found something that worked and went really well. And then each one of those that have kind of worked have worked, right. We always
Yeah. Yeah. For
make it
sure.
sound better than it actually did. But each one of those kind of ends up being like the floor, right? With the ceiling of that, the previous one ends up being the floor of the next one. And then you kind of just
Yeah.
learn
Yeah.
something, and you end up stair stepping into, you know, for in your case, what you guys are now building with Mira.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I always say this to people as well. It's like when they come to me and say, I want to do something online, it's like the best way to do this is just start something, and then that something will gain you knowledge to then try something else. And then back before you know it, you've found your interest, or you've at least found something that works for you. Because I'm a big believer in like every type of side hustle can work for sure, but I think it's
Yeah.
dependent on obviously if you are genuinely interested in it and you want to work on it constantly, then you're probably the chances of you making it work is a lot higher than something that you're just doing for the sake of it.
Yeah. How have you, throughout your entrepreneurial journey, how have you avoided like shiny object syndrome? Because I know a lot of us are guilty of
Yeah,
trying to do like many, many, many things at the same time. And you sound
yeah.
like a guy who's tried a lot of things. How have you tried to use that focus that you were just talking about and determining like what you should pour your everything into?
Sure. Well, I think you should at least pick one thing and try at it for a while. And obviously, in the mix of it, I do believe you should try a few different things. And like, I completely understand you have to put your full effort and energy into one thing. But I think to find that one thing, I think you need to try a few things. So like
Yeah.
at the very beginning stages, being able to try a few different hustles, seeing what sort of reaction you get, seeing if there's any there that you sort of lean more towards to work on. Maybe that's an interest, maybe that's like some sort of traction you've had, and then go all in on that instead of just trying to guess that this business model is the one you should go all in on. Maybe try a few, see what works, see what doesn't work, and then gauge from there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think the biggest thing is that a lot of people end up going into that analysis paralysis kind of
Yeah.
state, right? Where they never actually they're trying to figure out what's the best. They're running scenarios
Yeah.
on what might be the best thing,
And
and
I
they're
think the
trying to
big
like,
problem is here as well is they
yeah,
see something working for someone else and then they think this must be the one. This must work for me. And then they see someone else doing a different type of hustle and it's working for them and they think actually no that's going to be better and it's just like you said it's so easy to get distracted along the way where it's just you need to sort of try a few things, see what sort of reaction you get, see which one you lean more towards and then go all in on that.
yeah. No, you're 100%
Sure.
right. It sounds like just like me, a lot of your early ventures were more product based, like
Yes.
physical
Yeah.
e-commerce product based. Um, I have my kind of story of when I realized like, oh, service or SaaS is the way to go. What was that for you whenever you went in and started something like Learn Mode, or what was the tipping point that made you do that?
Sure. I mean, like with Learn Mode, that was something that I fully developed myself, and like I wouldn't particularly say I had much of a technology background, before that. But I just went in and I thought, like I'll just figure it out along the way. And during that process, I found that I actually really enjoyed like technology and being able to develop different platforms. But also to counter that, it was more of the fact of the thought of being able to impact so many people was just like something a lot more appealing to me than selling a product. Like obviously,
Yeah.
I've done e-commerce like I said for a while, and it's been a great business model for me. But it wasn't clicking as much as when I first started the technology platform. That was when it was like, okay, this is definitely my interest.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was even a step below that. It was I remember the first time that I made with between in-person and online personal training, I made $1,000 in a
Yeah.
month. And I was like, I had made over $1,000 on in several other companies and selling e-commerce and products and stuff. But I called my dad. I was like, Dad, I just made $1,000 in this personal training thing. And he's like, well, haven't you done that before? Like, is that congratulations? But like, is that a big deal? And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, like I actually kept $1,000. Like I made it and all of that is like mine. Like
Yeah.
it's actually
Yeah.
made. I don't have to go buy the next batch of stuff. I don't have
Yeah.
to go pay shipping costs. I don't have to go. And then I was like, oh, that's what everybody's talking about with this like service based
Yeah.
thing. And then we've done the personal training company and scaled that, and then done the software for personal trainers being AR Funnel, and that's scaled massively. And then now we're getting into these other platforms. But once I kind of realized in a service based company, you're not necessarily trading the there's not a physical product or a thing that you're having to pay for. You're just paying
Mhm.
for fulfillment of
Yeah.
the thing, and fulfillment is not even backloaded or front loaded. It's literally paying as you go to be fulfilled. Like
Yeah.
the customer funds your growth, the customer funds
For
your
sure.
fulfillment.
Yeah.
That is such a beautiful thing whenever you've
Yeah.
been stuck in e-commerce your whole life.
Yeah. Definitely. I completely agree.
Yeah. Okay, so then talk about what was that point? You said you saw ChatGPT, you saw this is going to be the future. At what point did you look at what you were doing with the learning platform and then be like, okay, whoa, I've really got to take this AI thing seriously and try to do something over here?
Yeah, I mean, originally I was actually thinking, okay, what can I implement that could be really impactful into the learning platform? And I was thinking of all different types of things. I created like an AI sort of software where you could very easily create like a digital product in seconds and sell it on our marketplace. And all of this was great. However, then I come to the realization, and this is just my personal opinion, when I was had the educational platform and I had loads of courses on there, I was thinking, okay, so there is a course on here that, let's say it's 40-hour long pre-recorded online course to learn lead generation. And then I saw this is obviously the way we're going. If you were a customer, would you rather in today's age watch a 40-hour long pre-recorded online course on how to do lead generation, or would you rent an AI agent that can do it for you? And obviously, in my opinion, in today's age, I think most people will go for the latter and get an agent that can do it for them. So
Agreed.
that's when I came to the realization. I was like, okay, obviously, online courses and coaching is still extremely valuable, but I more lean towards the agent route because I can see people obviously sort of choosing that a lot more in today's world, and obviously trying to like people want things easier, people want things done for them, and I think AI agents is going to be the answer to that.
No, I agree. I
Yeah.
100% agree. What do you feel like is unique about building an AI startup in today's kind of environment or ecosystem of
Yeah,
startups?
it's interesting, and I think it's definitely a very quick moving space. I think there's so much opportunity, but also the ground is shaking. That's for certain with AI. But I think comes with that is just you need to be very ready to adapt, ready to move quickly, change lanes quickly, and be ready because it's going to be a journey for sure.
Dude,
Yeah,
I follow I'm sure you follow the same accounts because we run in the same circles as far as this stuff goes, but I follow so many like how old are you?
24.
24. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
27. So I've got a few
yeah,
years on you. I follow so many like younger kids that are kind of on the cutting edge of this, right? So 20 and like 19, 20, 21, 22, that they're literally it's these like just groups of dudes that are just living in an apartment. They've got the whole living room is just like desks
yeah,
and they're just sitting in there vibe coding all day every day. And they just record themselves just sitting at their desks all day every day. And like
yeah,
that's who we're competing with. People don't realize how fast you can spin out some of these
yeah,
smaller tools now. And you
yeah,
talk
for
about
sure.
waking up and the landscape being different. That's truly what's happening every
Yeah,
day.
and I think one really important part to make on this is we are now entering into an era where anyone can basically create anything.
Yeah.
So then it comes down to okay, so if everyone can create anything, one thing that you should be focused on if not more than the product at this stage, is your distribution and marketing. Because like if there is two platforms, one platform they've spent hours and hours developing the platform, making it absolutely amazing, but they sort of slacked on the marketing, or this platform over here created a really good product, but they got it out to the market quicker. They made changes to customer feedback, and they changed it as quick as possible. And the marketing is very good. They're going to win. And I think that's like really important now, especially with the AI space. If everyone can create anything, then marketing it has to be the number one thing that you need to focus on.
Yeah, I agree. I was listening to a podcast this morning where a guy was talking about, hey, people are just vibe coding a bunch of just useless crap right now. They're just coming up with this idea and then just making it. And he said, instead of going and even building the product yet, have an idea, run
Yeah,
Google ads to a landing page where people have to opt in to join a wait list to
yeah,
validate the idea. And if you get X result from that wait list, or if 50 or 100 people even want it at all, then you have something. Then go build,
sure,
right? Let them be on the wait list. But now we know we would have a customer base if we launched this thing. And I
yeah.
think to exactly your point, and I know this is what you guys have done at Mirra, that is the way to build. Let
That is what we.
customers.
That is one thing we did. We set up the Instagram. We posted reels. We got to 7,000 plus followers in a few weeks, and we've now grown the waitlist to 20, 30,000 people on the waitlist plus. It's
Yeah,
growing every day very quickly, and like that has already gave us validation that okay, people want this. But then I think on the other side of this is like we've gone down a bit of a different route. Whereas like everyone now starting AI startups, a lot of them are doing vibe, they're vibe coding it very easily overnight and over the weekend as they're sharing. But I think on the other side of that, the approach we've gone is we've actually spent months and months and months developing this, and it isn't something that you can vibe code on the weekend. There's
yeah,
no way. And even if someone tried to vibe code it, I think the actual infrastructure will be broken. So like it's either you create something and do extreme marketing, validate the idea, then get it done properly, or you just go all in and get it done properly and obviously validate the idea along the way. And I think that's important because it's either create something very hard and not something you can easily vibe code, or vibe code something, test the market, and then get it done
yeah.
quickly.
No, I agree. And 30,000 people on your wait list is
Yeah,
incredible.
yeah,
So what let's just dive into Mira, okay? You were showing me some of like the mock-ups and the back end of what you guys are going to have, and your unique positioning, and how it's different from platforms that I've talked about on the channel before, like Lindy or N8N or Zapier or Make.com. Um, I want to Something that I feel like I've heard you talk about more than anybody else is this idea of personalized AI.
yeah,
And I think it aligns well with some stuff that I have talked about as well. So I want you to define what is personalized AI,
yeah.
and then I want to kind of bounce some things back and forth after you say your piece.
Sure. I mean, there's a lot of agent platforms getting built. There's a lot of automation platforms getting built. But one thing I personally think that they're all missing is if everyone can create the same agent and the same workflows, what makes your business different? If you're using the same agent as hundreds, if not thousands, of other businesses, then it's a very boring place to be. And especially whether it's your business, whether you're an online coach or a consultant or whatever it is, I think if you're going to have an agent, then it should be personalized to you or your business. And I think, like, we all know this, when you go on LinkedIn or X, you can tell when it's an AI generated post. It's very obvious. And I think to bridge that gap, being able to have it personalized to you. So whether it's doing LinkedIn posts, whether it's answering the phone calls, whether it's answering your emails, whatever it is, if it sounds like you, I think that is really important, especially if you're a coach or a consultant or even a business. I mean, there is cases where there would be no need for a personalized agent, and that's obviously what we're doing at Mirra. There will be an option to do it personalized or not personalized. But I think, like, for example, if you've got an agent that's moving some information from an Excel document to a Word document, there's no need for that to be personalized. But if you're creating an agent that's going to post social media content for you or post LinkedIn content for you, then that needs to be personalized, and it needs to be personalized to you. And I think that's the USP.
Yeah, and I've talked a ton about this on group calls to our coaches, on one-on-one calls with different people that are looking to implement AI into their businesses. even on my socials. And I did the chat that you DM me about from this past weekend. I talked a lot about this. Is
Yeah,
the way that I recommend people, if they're not doing anything yet, get into all of this is start with automation. Number
yeah.
one, if you're not automating anything at all, right, forget about AI, because AI is going to come in and it's going to be a garbage in, garbage out type of scenario.
And I
If you're not
think also
automating
just
anything,
sorry, just to
you're
mention
good.
in that as well, I do think by the first quarter of next year, I think these automation tools will go that they'll be on a decline. I think we'll start
Yeah,
to see automations being automated. I think and that's what we're doing at Mirror. You can simply prompt in what you want your agent to do, and it will build it. You don't have to
yeah,
learn how to build these automations anymore. So I think it has been valuable for many years, and I think sometimes people forget how long these tools have actually been out. But also, I think we are entering into an era where you won't actually have to, put all the nodes together and build your workflow. You won't have to do that anymore.
yeah, yeah. It's I think all automations and AI workflows in general are going to be prompt based within
Yeah, for
really the
sure.
next like 6 months.
I agree. Yeah,
But start off with automation so you can get good, clean data. You don't even have to worry about the AI stuff yet, right? Then
yeah,
learn how to talk to an LLM and
yeah,
get just general feedback. Understand. I think when someone's even just talking to something like ChatGPT back and forth, they start to learn, okay, what is possible? What can happen? What types of things can it can do for me? And it kind of gets the gears turning.
sure.
And then I talk about the idea of AI assistance, right? Which is still a step below what you guys are doing in Mira. And people, I think the next step of this is when people are making these AI assistants or they're prompting just a general LLM, what they end up missing out on is their secret sauce, right? So they, instead of making a meal plan, when they go to make a meal plan assistant, for example, and the meal plan assistant is just told, whenever I send you someone's macros, make me a meal plan.
Yeah,
Well, that meal plan assistant doesn't know if you really believe in keto and you make all of your clients come to you to get keto
yeah,
breakdowns, right? That they don't know if you're pescatarian. They don't know if you're vegetarian. If you believe in carb cycling, and that's what clients are coming to you for, is your beliefs on carb cycling. So you can have a generic assistant, but that generic assistant is never going to be an asset for you and your company
exactly.
because it
Yeah,
doesn't know exactly how it doesn't have your brain, your secret sauce like
exactly.
plugged
Yeah,
into this for the outputs.
yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
completely agree. And I think that's obviously that's why I think we've had such a big reaction at Mirror is because we are solving that gap, and we're like the more you're going to use Mirror, obviously the more it's going to understand you, and then over time it's going to be able to potentially predict what you would do in that scenario. So whenever there's a task, whenever there's something to do, it will know you well enough to be able to think, actually, no, Baker might go down that road, or Baker might go down that route. So I think that is very valuable.
It's extremely valuable. It's
Yeah.
extremely valuable. And so I think that you guys have such a unique positioning there from a personalized AI standpoint. Do you feel like that's the biggest? Because I want to talk about your biggest feature that you and I have talked about, but
Sure.
do you feel like the personalized I
I
guess
think it, I
function
think
or
it's
built in is your biggest like gap that you're filling in the market?
I think so. And I think also when you see the platform, you'll understand why. I mean, it's not just going to be like obviously it will be personalized, but there'll be so many things that you can do on top of that to make it just so valuable to you and your business or whatever you want to use your agent for. And yeah, I mean, there's one feature that obviously we've spoken about, which I think will be extremely valuable, especially when people are trying to build these agents and building them for them, themselves or their businesses, and being able to monetize from that, as we spoke about for the marketplace. I think that will be a big standpoint.
Yeah, so let's dive straight in there then. Tell the listeners about which this is very unique, and I haven't seen this on any other platform. I just want to preface with that. But tell the users or the listeners. I keep saying users because we're talking about these softwares. Tell the listeners about your marketplace function and what that's going to look like.
Sure. So essentially, when you come onto Mirror, you're going to be able to simply create your own AI agent. Like I said before, you're going to be able to toggle it whether you want it to just be a box standard AI agent with basic knowledge, or you want it to be personalized. And then at that point, you go through the personalization stage, make it all personalized. through a bit of a process, and then it will be really good. And like I said, the more you use it, the more it'll get personalized to you. And then at the end of that, obviously you can use it for yourself, you can share it to other people to use it. But also one of the big points here, which like you said, I am not aware of anyone else doing this at this stage, is being able to actually monetize from your agent. So there's a lot of people out there creating workflows, agents, trying to help businesses, trying to help people with that. But number one, they're probably struggling to sell it. Even though you see all the hype online, they probably are struggling to sell their agent and workflows, because one main point to businesses is, who are you? How do I know this is legit? How do I know this is actually going to be useful? And being able to actually publish it onto the Mirra marketplace, we will have obviously a process to make sure that everything that gets published is actually functioning and works. And we will become reliable for that, and also there'll be like a review rating, so you know what you're getting into. But from a standpoint of someone coming onto the marketplace to actually wanting to rent one of these AIs, they will have options, and they'll be able to try demos, they'll be able to actually see what's probably best for their business. But from the standpoint of someone actually creating this agent, they're able to monetize from it, and I think that is I think that's really cool. I think, like, even if you're a coach, for example, you want to create a personalized AI of you that helps people with fitness. So it does personalized fitness plans, meal plans, maybe even a motivating voice note in the morning on WhatsApp saying, get out of bed and get to the gym. And I think, like, being able to rent that AI of yourself, that, bear in mind, can work 24/7, can help your clients 24/7, but it also acts like you. It's not like your clients are speaking to a robot. Then being able to rent that on the marketplace and people being able to try these different AIs, I think's really cool.
Yeah, and so I talk a lot about AI being more of a multiplier, not a replacement. And I talk about
Sure,
the only people that are going to be replaced by AI are the people that are being replaced by someone that is using it if they're not.
sure, yeah,
Um, how is something like Mira going to be a multiplier for, let's just keep using the fitness coach example. How is it a
yeah.
multiplier for a coach to multiply their impact rather than replace them? Because a lot of coaches
Yeah,
are
and
scared of being replaced.
I want to note on that as well. That is our mission for sure.
Yep.
We're looking to multiply, not replace, and that is definitely our top priority to make sure that that happens. And the way I think one thing to bear in mind here is, like, if you're an online coach and you were flooded with DMs, flooded with clients, and I've been there. I've done mentoring. I've been there, and being able to have so many people, but if you were real with yourself, if you were taking all these people on, realistically, you're not going to give them the best of service. If you have 100 people you're coaching a month, realistically, you're not going to be able to send them all personalized meal plans, fitness plans, and motivating voice notes every morning. And that's just an
Yeah.
example, of course. But you're not going to be able to send 100 people that. And what I'm getting at here is being able to have your own AI means you're actually going to be able to impact more people's lives, because the saying that we've all probably said, I wish there was two of me in some scenarios. When you're busy, when you've got things going on, you're just like, I wish there was two of me here. And I think, like, we're trying to make that happen, but also keeping the human as the main priority and being able to actually connect with clients on a personalized level.
I love it. Will people be able to set their own rates for reselling their
Sure.
agents on the Mirror Multiplace?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Completely.
Okay. Um, what all connections are you guys working on having at launch? As far as I'm just going to give examples, maybe Gmail, calendar, type form,
Yeah.
job form.
We will have over 3,500 connections, so a
Wow.
fair few. Yeah, we've got every single connection that you can probably you probably use in your business and more. So, I can't name them all because we'll be sat here until next week. But yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot, and everyone that
that's awesome.
any business will probably use is on there.
Yeah, and I'm picturing a place where you guys have 30,000 people on the wait list, right? Like,
Yeah,
let's say even 10,000 of them sign up at launch. I'm picturing the marketplace being flooded with a lot of similar or the same agents. And the cool
yeah,
thing about what you built is because it is built with such a heavy emphasis on the personalized AI.
yes,
People will go to there'll be a million receptionist AI agents on this platform, right?
yeah.
And the difference will be in how somebody sets it up. The
And
difference
I
will be
think that's
in
really important you've just said that, because
yeah,
that's one main question I get asked is, okay, so what makes everyone's AIs different? And the way we've tackled that is the personalization. But also we have to remember here, and one thing, again, going back to before, whereas like the manual automation will probably slow down in the new year and beyond. But I think one skill that will actually increase in the new year and beyond is knowing how to prompt properly. I think, it sounds silly, but I think like a lot of people struggle with that. So on the marketplace, people will prompt their AIs different. That's obviously, they'll make them different. They'll add the personalization layer. So every AI will be unique to the seller who's selling it. So yeah, it's a good point you said, and that's exactly how we're solving it.
Yeah, love it. Um, have you been building, because obviously you and I connected within the last few weeks, and we've just been kind of interfacing a lot since then.
Yeah.
Have you been building Mirra in public, and do you think that's a very important part of building AI startups today?
In today's world, yes, for sure. I think it's funny actually because I've always been I've been building my personal brand, you can call it, on Instagram and on social media for many years, and I've always sort of been hesitant in a way, like being, I don't mind getting on camera and doing all that sort of fun stuff, but I think I've always sort of been hesitant. Is there a real need to do this? Like, do I have to do this? Because I'd rather just be building the product, to be perfectly honest with you. I would
I'm
rather be building the product and making it as good as possible. But then I was sort of like scoping the landscape, and then if you actually think about some of these big platforms that are coming out today, a lot of them are creator based, and a lot of them are people who are building a connection with their audience and getting on social media. And to answer your point, yes, I think it is very important in today's world.
Yeah, I've seen multiple founders, especially on Twitter, it seems like
Yeah, for sure.
documenting their product, their tool from the very start to whenever they actually launch it. And they'll jump into launch with 30, 40, 50K MRR because so many people have been rooting for them and watching them try and fail and test and
Yeah,
iterate for 6 months now.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think that's a very, very important part of today. And I think that's also something that, not even on the AI front, something that the fitness coaches should be doing more of too, is showing like your own fitness journey if you're a fitness coach.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Showing where you started and where you are now, and people want to see that because I think also is like you are a lot more relatable to a lot more people. If you just show where you are now, it's like to people that want to get there, they can't relate as much as if there was another coach that was showing sort of where they really started and where they are now, and that looks and feels more relatable to the person who's looking up to you and wanting to buy into your product or service.
Yeah. Well said. Very well said. Um, Now I want to kind of dive into, with your journey, with what does the roadmap look like for launching Mira? Do you guys have like a date or kind of a something that we're leading towards where you're going to make this product available?
Yeah, so it will be next month for sure, October. I can't pinpoint a date just yet. You know how tech development goes. Sometimes it could be earlier, sometimes it could be later. But yeah, we're hoping for next month, and yeah, it's gonna be fun.
What do you think is the best advice that you would give somebody who's starting out today with AI available? Let's even make it blanketed. Any business model, where should we start? AI.
I'd say number one thing is just learning as much as you can. Like I said before, you're never going to learn everything, but if you can at least get a basic understanding, because majority of people aren't at this moment willing to even do that. And I think a lot of people don't quite understand that this is going to be a very impactful technology to everyone. So I think right now, being able to actually learn the basic fundamentals of what AI is and sort of like how it's going to be impactful to people, what different opportunities he's got is the starting point. And then obviously when you're at that point, maybe being able to try and test loads of different tools and being able to try different tools, understand how they work, understand what benefits they are by using them. Speaking to people is also one major thing, just being able to speak to people in the space and understand, what people want, what people need. And then at that stage, trying to gauge sort of, what you could create if you're looking to create a business. And I think one thing to mention here, and I've seen a lot of people do it, is going on ChatGPT and saying, give me 10 business ideas isn't going to work. It's not going to work. So use your own creativity and be able to actually gauge the market, understand what the market wants, use ChatGPT or any other AI software to actually help you maybe in the business plan or being able to help you in like different things, but don't get it to create you a whole business idea because I think that's a very dangerous place to be.
There's a lot of businesses. I'm sure it's the exact same way in the UK. There's a lot of businesses that are, HVAC companies or plumbers or, automobile, not manufacturers, but like repair kind of shops and things like
Yeah,
that. There's a lot of businesses where entrepreneurs have been, navigating things like this, right? Not necessarily all the way like this, but trying to navigate the world and the changes with everything for the past 2 or 3 decades, and they've done it successfully up until now.
yeah.
What do you feel like is the lowest hanging fruit for a business like that to adopt some sort of AI or an AI agent and not get left behind?
Yeah, I think that's an important point because I feel like a lot of businesses aren't taking it too serious just yet, and I
Agreed.
think that's a problem because I think it's a matter of time until, like you said, then group of founders in an apartment vibe coding will come along, think their business is good, vibe code it, make it better, implement AI, and take them out of business, or at least take a
Yeah.
big share of their business. And I think like that is going to come. So I think being able to sort of wake up and realize this is going to be quite impactful to a lot of businesses, if not all businesses. So being able to actually understand how AI could help in their business and maybe have a look at everything, seeing what's the most time consuming things, which things can be automated or done better with AI, and doing it because I think there's no time to waste there.
Yeah, my theory is, and it sounds like you can create this something like this on Mira. My theory is most businesses, first thing, lowest hanging fruit that they could possibly do, some sort of receptionist,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just kind of call answer, because I think a lot of businesses miss a lot of calls, which means they miss a lot of appointments, which means they miss a
sure.
lot of conversions and potential revenue.
Yeah,
And an AI taking those
that
calls
works
for you, book,
24/7 is able to
yeah,
answer their calls, book them in appointments, and essentially grow
zero,
their business.
zero, yeah, zero breaks, zero need for lunch, zero bad days, zero sick
Yeah,
days. Like
yeah.
I think something like that. And I'm assuming you could build something like that on Mira.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah,
And I think that's important. And we will have on the platform obviously custom solutions as well. So businesses or individuals who want very developed AI solutions, we'll be willing to assist them and actually help them with that as well. Because I think
great.
obviously some big businesses will need very custom solutions, and we're there to help with that.
I love that. Um, okay, 5 years from now, I know that feels like like light years away with how fast everything's moving right now. So it feels hard to even predict 5 years from now. Whereas 5 years ago, it wouldn't have felt that crazy to predict
Yeah.
this. Um, where do you think things are headed with AI?
Um, yeah, it's a tough question that, like you said, because it's very hard to predict and things are just moving so quick. I think one thing we need to be aware of is mass unemployment. I think that's a problem. I think we need to be aware of that and the ways we can sort of come up with a solution. Don't get me wrong, there will be different types of jobs and there will be new jobs created, and that's for sure. But I think that is something that I reckon we will face in the next 5 years, and we need to sort of start preparing now in a way. And that is like sort of what we want to create on Mirror is the fact that our aim is to be able to actually help anyone and everyone use this technology instead of sort of fighting against it, actually being on its side and using it and potentially earning an income stream through our marketplace or renting out. And I think like being able to help everyone and anyone who doesn't understand this technology or doesn't have the technology skills to actually build agents and build automations and sell it and do marketing, they're actually able to do it all in one place. And I think that is what we're trying to do is people that sort of feel threatened at this technology in a way and feel like it's a risk to them, being able to actually help them be on the right side of it is something that we'd like to do.
That's a great point, because I have felt like for a while we're kind of heading towards this almost exclusively gig economy. Like
Yeah,
every person is going to have like a couple of little things that they do that makes them their income, right? It's not
sure. And,
really
and, and to
everybody
counter this
working
point
on
as
everyone.
well, to counter this point as well. So let's say everybody wanted to create an agent, and that's their sort of source of income in a way. Like it at the current market, it's not everyone can create agents, yes, but they're all the same. Like whereas on Mirror, every person's agent is going to be personalized to them and be different. And that's like, this is why I'm kind of, really excited about the project, and working very hard on to make it happen, is because I think that if we're heading in that direction, I think people being able to have an AI agent that represents them in a way, but doesn't replace them, but is actually able to earn them an income 24/7, personalized to them, I think is, I think it's valuable.
No, 100%. What do you feel like is if you had to choose one AI tool that you were going to keep in your stack and use day to day, what is the most important one that you're currently using or your favorite?
Well, Mirror, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm joking. But at the moment in time, probably ChatGPT.
Okay.
Yeah, probably ChatGPT.
Has that changed with GPT-5 or?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see a particularly huge difference personally. I think the photos still hallucinate. I think I think that there's a few things, but it's never going to be perfect. And again, it's only going to get developed over time and get better. So I'm not criticizing that. But I think out of all AI tools, I think the thing with ChatGPT is because I mean, for people non-techie, AI has been around for a long time. It's only got into the hands of the public quite recent, especially I think with ChatGPT, it sort of sparked the interest of the general people being, oh, this is
Agreed.
AI. I think because ChatGPT was very good at getting it to market first, and they grabbed a big percentage of the market. And like myself, the first AI sort of platform I used was ChatGPT. I've just stuck with it. I've just stuck. I think a lot of people's the same.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the same thing here. I'll never forget in 2022, whenever that it came out, and everyone was kind of blown away
Yeah,
by this thing that you can now use and how fast it got. Like one
yeah,
day we'll talk about, remember how we thought that was cool and it was just like it was
yeah,
so
for
bad,
sure.
you know?
It's always a weird thought that when you think like in 10 years' time, we're going to look back and think we really thought that was cool. Like, this is even better.
Yeah. Eventually that'll be like the cavemen that were like crazy excited by like fire just sparked for the first time and blown
Yeah,
away by that. Like that version of ChatGPT will be that event. They'll be like, you guys thought that was impressive? Why were you it's kind of cool to think about.
sure.
Um you guys have been building for a really long time, and I think you told me you guys are bootstrapped.
Yeah,
How
completely.
has that looked? Because I think a lot of people don't end up building what they want to build. A lot of times they talk themselves out of, I can't bootstrap it, or it's going to take too long to do it myself, or I can't get anyone to invest in me. What does bootstrapping look like to you?
To be honest, like I think I've never really sort of doubted. I've always sort of believed in myself, and I knew I could make it happen regardless of whether I got investment, regardless of anything. So I mean, like bootstrapping is, you have to be, you have to sort of be prepared. Like you're going to invest a lot before you even take it to market, and obviously with the validation of the idea, that is something that sort of makes the whole process a little bit more, like you get a bit more confident during the process, especially when people are actually really looking forward for it to launch. But I
Yeah.
think you've just got to be, I think you've just got to go for it. If you believe in the idea as much as, like, I believe in Mirror as much as I can, and I have absolutely no doubt that I will make it work. So I think having that belief in yourself and thinking that you can do it, I think is the only thing you've got to really focus on.
What is, for you guys and for the next steps, do you guys have a roadmap? Because, we're planning launch of these two new platforms that we've been developing. And, I never really understood how somebody like App, obviously much bigger in comparison, but how it's always blown my mind how they'll be launching, a phone that they're going to launch next week, but
Yeah,
they've already got the 2027 phone and the 2028 phone in the early stages of development, planning features, planning specs, like doing the new software, all of that. And that always blew my mind. It's like, how are they even, if you're working on the next thing, like, why would you not put that in the current thing? And
yeah,
now being even just in the software space for the limited amount of time that I've been in it, I'm like, well, we're planning to launch something, but we also have crazy plans for the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months after that, as far as new things to add to the platform. You just
yeah.
can't possibly include everything. So do you guys already have that kind of roadmap building as you plan for October launch?
Yeah. Like we have a roadmap, but we're also we're very open to sort of adaptability and being able to move quick. And I think like roadmaps like having a sort of business plan and roadmap's one thing, but I think in this AI space, you can't expect it to be something you follow.
That's a good
Because,
point.
like, let's say you predict where your business is going to be by mid 2026. By mid 2026, there could be some sort of technology that could help your business do something completely different and even better. So I think it's very hard to follow a business plan. And I think I've thought this since I first started my journey. Really, it's like, business plans are one thing, but you will never ever follow that road continuously. You will always take another direction and then another direction and another direction. So a business plan's good for a sort of overview of like what you want your business to be, but be prepared to change it constantly.
Yeah. No, that's a fantastic point, because I would not have even predicted myself getting into software development at all, because I would not have been able to predict that AI would be this good at it this fast.
Yeah.
Um, so that's a fantastic point. Now, I want to, with you guys launching next month, you guys have a massive wait list. Are you going to curb the amount of people that get access and slowly roll out that access? Or is it like we pick a date in October and 30,000 people have access to jumping in day one?
Straight in. Yeah, we're going straight in.
Wow.
Yeah, I think like, this is something that I did think about, being able to make it a little bit more exclusive and it's sort of letting people in slowly, excuse me. But I think up to launch, we'll have beta testers obviously testing, making sure that everything functions properly and making sure that we are prepared to have a big influx of visitors on the store, which we are. Again, this is why I refer back to my point as building something fully, building something properly. And I'm not saying vibe coding isn't, but building something ready to get to level 100 straight away is something that at least I like to do and be prepared for. So I think, yeah, from the day of launch, we'll be opening the gate straight away.
Got it. And what type of a model? Obviously, the marketplace thing is a whole different kind of story. But what type of a model? I guess two questions here. What type of a model is someone going to be looking like myself to sign up for Mirra, or like any of the coaches listening to this podcast, or entrepreneurs even? What does that? Is it a subscription based? Can you talk about pricing at all yet?
Yeah, so it will be all subscription based, with obviously three tiers. The standard subscription base, standard subscription plan, and it will be reasonable price. Obviously, I don't want to pinpoint a price at this current stage just yet, but
Okay.
it will be competitive to other agent platforms out there for sure. And then on the marketplace, obviously, it'll be completely free to list your agent, but we will take a very small percentage of fee on that. But it's it won't be anything that will harm your profits.
Got it. Can anybody that is a non-Mira user go and shop on the Mira marketplace?
Yes, as long as they create an account. What we have done is avoid making it straight away public. You will have to create an account first, and the reason we've done that is to avoid any sort of like scrapers or anyone coming on the site and misleading and misusing different things. So we've kept it fairly exclusive. You have to create your account first. That this may change, but that's something that we're doing at least at the starting stage.
Got it. But you don't have to have like a subscription to go.
No,
Like
of
if I'm
course not.
okay,
No, no.
got it. Cool. That's awesome, man. That's. I mean, it's extremely exciting to just kind of see where you guys are at, and to have such a massive wait list is
Yeah.
incredible as far as validation of the idea and all the effort that you guys have put in so far. Um, what things in general do you want to, before we kind of wrap up and tell people where they can join the wait list and be ready for your launch? What other kind of general things around AI, or what you guys have been building, or where your kind of thought processes are for the coach, the consultant, the entrepreneur out there right now around AI? What other things do you want to share before we dive into kind of wrapping this up?
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing is any sort of coach, consultant, business, anyone really who should be at least looking to implement some sort of AI. Whether this is helping with their marketing, if they're at the beginning stage, some people might not need an AI to manage all of their DMs and emails because they might only have a few clients. So like having an AI to maybe do their marketing or help with their marketing, an AI to maybe there's many different options. Maybe give their clients a better experience potentially. Being able to actually have that 24/7 support to all of your clients. And I want to stress again, this isn't to replace you. It's to multiply you, and like we spoke about before, it's to actually
Yep.
be able to deliver better services, better sort of an experience for your clients, and basically multiply your impact. If you're a coach or a consultant and you want to, your mission should be to try and help as many people as possible. That's probably the reason you got into coaching. So if you want to do that, then having an AI that can help you do that is something to think about.
Yeah, love it. Very well said. If somebody wants to join the Mirra waitlist, obviously I'll get the links from you after this. We'll put it all in the description. Whenever it launches in October, how are they going to be looking for
Sure.
kind of
So I
access?
think the first thing is just on Instagram. It's getmirror.ai. Like you said, it will be linked below, and obviously the actual website URL will also be getmirror.ai. So we'll be launching hopefully October, and yeah, just keep an eye out on the socials because we'll be posting a lot more heading up to launch there.
Perfect. Last question I always ask everybody. This is the
Sure.
BAM cast. By any means necessary is what BAM stands for. What are you, Nathan Smith, going to accomplish by any means necessary?
The ability for anyone to use this powerful technology and make an impact.
I love it. Love it, dude. Well, I appreciate your, like I said, we've only known each other a few weeks, but I feel like we've been bouncing a bunch of ideas back and forth. I think we're going to
Sure.
do
Yeah.
some cool things, and excited to kind of share audiences with, allowing our coaches to get access to some of this stuff. And I think we're going to be able to do some really cool things in the space together. So
For sure.
appreciate you, man. Appreciate your time. I know you're a busy, very busy guy, and we've been on opposite time zones for the past several weeks. But,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
appreciate your
it was a
flexibility.
pleasure speaking to you, and yeah, I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.